He repeated it. But as I say, it wasn't said once, it was on a number of occasions. They speak fast and they don't stop talking.
And again, why did you not open a case? Because now they're making a direct threat.
I didn't believe that the case would be accepted and that anything would become of it. Because I can say why, I can elaborate, because my wife, my daughter-in-law, both daughter-in-laws, went to the police station and they tried to open cases at Brighton Beach. And there was a captain on duty there and he refused to accept the charge. They ended up going to the attorney who took them to IPID. And IPID referred them to Point Road Police Station, and I'm not sure where they eventually opened the case. It was a rigmarole. Nobody wanted to open a case. And this is not an uncommon practice. I've witnessed this before. So people lose interest. So people lose interest and faith in the police.
Just when you say the wife and daughters tried to open a case,
yes.
Was it in relation to the same incident or a different incident?
No. It's a different incident.
And what was that incident about?
My daughter-in-law, Bevan's wife, she opened a case of theft of items and cash from the house.
But was it against the police? Because
yes, it was against the police. There were cases eventually registered at Brighton Beach. I know my daughter-in-law that runs the crash, her case docket is at IPID. Eckhard, as I said, he was one of the workers of Bevan. He was a driver and a runaround. He opened a case of assault. I was witness to that statement being taken by an IPID policeman in my house. That case is still with IPID. I had opportunity to speak to, in fact, Eckhart phoned me last night. I hadn't spoken to him or seen him in over a year. And I asked him what was the progress on the case. There's nobody ever contacted him.
Okay, and then back to paragraph 57. Do you mention this incident in your affidavit?
Yes, I did.
This specific one?
Yes.
And the threat by
yes.
Captain Governor?
Yes, I did. Just to go on with that, to complete that, my wife was eventually called to the police station to depose a statement. And the statement was taken by should I not say the name? Was taken by a female captain. But I found it strange that while I was sitting there, she wasn't really interested in what my wife was saying. She started taking a statement from me as to what took place. Then I realized what she's doing. Then one of the policemen whispered in my ear to say, no, she works within the government. I shouldn't be talking to her. Those matters, I think there were 4 cases. Besides the cases at IPID, the cases that were opened at Brighton Beach are filed as undetected and false. Hendrik Nunez's wife also opened a case. I don't know what the charge was. That case is filed as false. Coincidentally, the cases were filed...
Mr. Loftus,
yes.
I'm going to stop you because you have to be careful. In this commission, when you mention people's names and you make allegations against them, we will have to call them to provide their version. So maybe stick to the question I asked so that we limit ourselves.
Okay, Commissioner.
Because if you end up mentioning 15 people,
okay, I acknowledge
we will
that.
have to give them the opportunity to come and give their side of the story. So let's limit ourselves to
I acknowledge
the question I asked and only the answer to that question.
Point taken.
Thank you.
Was the shooting of Alan supposed to have taken place at Bluff Butchery?
Was the shooting of who, Commissioner? I didn't hear that.
Alan.
No. That was in Durban Central somewhere.
Oh, all right. Where you told was supposed to have been shot at Bluff Butchery?
That Bluff Butchery shooting, the alleged Bluff shooting, was supposed to have been Bevan shooting at the police.
Okay,
yes.
All right. Thank you.
Just to follow up on what Commissioner Kumalo is alleging so that we complete it. In relation to the threat in January, now you know the details. You know the person who's allegedly had put a hit on your son, or you both now know did you report or take this up as well?
No, I didn't, because we were at a point where opening cases or trying to open cases were futile. I will say this. Brighton Beach Police, a lot of the policemen and detectives and Wentworth, they didn't have time for myself or for Bevan. So it was futile because there's an instance where one of the deceased, Michigan Hippolyte, was shot in an area in Wentworth. At point blank, like very close in the jaw. He survived. He went to the Wentworth police station to open a case and they did not take a statement from him. There was another instance where he was shot in Clarewood, which falls under the Brighton Beach policing area. He went to the police station when he came out of hospital. They refused to take a statement. So no cases exist for those two incidents.
And why is that particularly, it would seem that you are targeted?
It does seem that way. I wasn't popular when I was in the police. I wasn't one of the guys that did anything illegal. So I always tried to do the right thing, and henceforth, unfortunately, you get shunned when you do that because you're seen as working against the grain. Because I spoke out against any injustice that I saw while I was in the police. And a lot of my colleagues didn't like that. I can go further to say that none of them would work with me. When I was in uniform, only my black colleagues would work with me. Nobody else. Because I didn't do what they were doing, I was against what they were doing. As far as Bevan goes, there are policemen at Wentworth and at Brighton Beach that I listened to what Len John said yesterday, that there's certain policemen that would favor certain tow trucking companies. There were instances and certain policemen that did that as well. And Bevan didn't participate with that relationship between policemen. It was purely business. I know that there's money is exchanged as favors between tow trucking companies and police. When I was in uniform, I witnessed it. That's a fact. So what I'm saying, why against me? I've got no idea. I can just put it to that I'm not part of the team, part of the clique.
Mr. Loftus, you mentioned that you, at some point, you speak to someone from IPID, and then they say to you, you must go and lay a complaint at a police station. Did I?
I wasn't present
Okay.
when this happened.
So you've never have you personally had any dealings with IPID to do with what was going on with you and Bevan?
Let me say this. When the police came in February, and they did what they did because my oldest son was assaulted by police as well. Ekod was assaulted. My wife had a case to open. My daughter-in-law had a case to open. There was a gentleman from IPID that came to my house. And I assume that he was on call. That's why he was attending. This was after the cases were open. So he came to follow up further. So at that time, only my one daughter-in-law's case, the one that runs the crash, she had opened the case. So he followed up on that. And he seemed interested because he said they've been watching this group of people doing these kind of things for a long time. So he went a bit further to say they had a little team that was looking into this, where these guys were doing this kind of thing on alleged crime scenes. So from there, he actually interviewed Ekod, and he took a statement from Ekod, and he opened the case there. And then he interviewed my son as well, but he didn't end up taking a statement from him. Then there's a guy from, this incident happened on the 3rd of February. That was a Friday. The Monday was the 6th. There's a guy from Newlands East who I met for the first time, but Bevan knew him. I was liaising with Bevan while he was ducking. So he was liaising with that guy. And that guy was called. This detective from IPID actually said to me, he should come over. He came over and he interviewed him about an assault that he'd been through at the hands of the team. I can't say which policeman it was, and another youngster. So that's the interaction I had. It happened right in my lounge.
And you don't know what has happened with those IPID cases? Because my understanding from other evidence is that when there's been a complaint against or relating to police conduct, IPID then takes over the matter from the police station and then they do the investigation as it falls within their powers. Now, you've not had any report backs, any dealings with IPID about the cases that you say you've referred, were referred?
My daughter-in-law that runs the crash, I went into hiding, which I'll come to later. While I was away, they followed up on the case of, when I say Bevan, I'm including the other guys that were. They followed up on the case at IPID, and she said she approached that investigator that had her docket, and she asked him what's the progress, and she says that he said to her that he's got much more serious cases. Hers is just assault common. He hasn't got the time to attend to a minor crime.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Kakri.
Thank you. Just while on that, we know that on around 31 March, at least there's some steps that you took against the police.
Yes.
Now, that's a period of, let's say, approximately 3 months.
Yes,
2-3 months, give or take.
Yeah, approximately, yeah.
And if you trace it back to the telephone call, I think it would comfortably be a matter of 3 months. So or 2 months, let's say we give that period.
Are you referring to the phone call, the time factor between the phone call and...
The phone call.
The phone call would
And
have...
remember, it's the phone call, and shortly thereafter, you then have this...
January.
Yes.
Yes.
Late January.
Late January. I think it's about the 25th or so.
Correct. I'm trying to just wait for me. In that period, you say you didn't find it prudent to make any action, for example, to take any action rather against what you now see on the 3rd of February. Let's say on your theory, you now see that, look, there are police coming in, they are threatening about updating a policy and all of this. Now, don't you see it prudent to, in any event, register a case and then complain to IPID, or take even the court application earlier?
That's a good point, but as I said, with the history that has been happening with Bevan over time, being harassed by some of the Brighton Beach detectives, because they ultimately end up with it. And there's certain members in the charge office as well that would not take cases. So we reached the point where it was like, it's futile to even try. That's why we went the court way. Yeah.
That aspect. Now, there's an issue, or at least the narrative, that Dina was put up to killing Bevan.
Yes.
Now, what would you say, would it be only Dina or other people as well?
The way I interpreted it is, I just want to go back a while to when they arrived at the premises. One of the first things they said is, we're going to kill him. We're not here to arrest him. So the way I saw it from my inquiries, there's a small clique in that unit that knows what's going on. The majority of those policemen that work with him, in my opinion, doesn't know what's going on. So to me, it was Dina, Seven, and Nika, because they were very aggressive, and the ones that kept harping on, we had to kill him, we're not going to arrest him. And especially when they focused on when their friend Alan was shot in the head by Bevan. So I had no doubt in my mind that they were going to do it, having also done some background inquiries on them. So I was convinced that they were intending killing Bevan. There was an instance where, at the premises, where one officer, Nika, he was wanting to search the premises. I did not see a policeman called Pedro Rodriguez arrive. He didn't arrive with them. But being handcuffed, when we came out of the house and went to the side of the house, one officer, Nika of the dog unit, actually said, Pedro Rodriguez was there, and he went under. We've got a wooden floor, so we've got an elevated floor. We've got a crawl space under the house. He asked Captain Rodriguez to go under the house and check, and he said If he's there, shoot him where he lies. So I was like, these guys were really set to kill Bevan. And if he approached the Brighton Beach guy, detective, and he would, I can tell you he wouldn't get joy, because he's had that before, especially Michigan was shot. There was no joy.
So there are three possibilities that I just want to understand. There's the possibility, the main one, which is there was a contract to kill him, but that is irrespective. Then there's the theory or potential theory, which is that, and we'll go to it, they just wanted to kill him, or was this Naika because he shot a friend, or they just wanted to kill him for whatever motive, but unrelated to the hit. Or you then say there's a clique. Are you saying it's the clique? It's just we need to be careful about it. Are you saying that clique was executing a contract?
I do believe that clique was executing contracts. I believe that.
Thank you.
Is it not more likely, though, that if this was a contract killing, the killers would have been discreet about it?
I don't believe that. They are the Hawks. They have power to go where they want to and to do what they want to. When they opened my garage, I just want to relate something. When they opened the garage, it was actually the investigator of my case that they put him back in. It was that gentleman that actually went in and took the vest off the wall. When he brought the vest out, they laid it on the floor. I can't remember, it was some time back. I can't remember it was Colonel Dina Kavamda or Warrant Officer Sivan Naidu. They laid the vest and the handcuffs on the floor with the bulletproof bag, and they took pictures. I can't remember who it was. One of them made a call and said, "General, we've got him." And I wondered, why are they making such a fuss over a little thing like this to a general? You know? So to me, there was the narrative that they were targeting us.
I'm not sure that I follow how that answers the question I asked.
It's in my belief that this clique of guys were working for Clive Naika, based on the inquiries that are made. And as I said to you, I found it strange that to be pursuing Bevan on futile, what I will call futile cases. Maybe not futile, but on cases where the possibilities of a conviction weren't realistic. Because in my belief, they shouldn't be wasting resources on something like that. And if I go back further, the information that was received while they were doing that, when they started doing that in Belair, when we got in fact, Bevan first got the information. It's a friend of his that told him about these Hawks guys signing for dockets, looking for dockets and signing for dockets at the Belair. He actually told him the case numbers. This is what they're taking from here. And I made further inquiries, and I got to the bottom of it, and I established that these are like futile dockets, because had it been serious, they would have arrested him almost immediately. So I questioned and said, why are they doing this? Straight away, when we started getting further information from inquiries, I realized that this is serious and that guy has got a lot of power. There's someone that I know that is from the Sydenham area that's in the taxi association, because Clive is also a member of the taxi association in Sydenham, with a lot of influence. This guy I know very well. He said to me, be very careful of Clive. He's got a long reach as far as law enforcement is concerned. So that's when I realized, no, they have got an agenda. They are here to kill him. I had no doubt about it. Henceforth, that's why he rather had fled and tried to go through the courts for protection.
Yeah, don't misunderstand me. I'm not putting it beyond the realm of possibility that they might have said this. I'm just engaging you on how likely it is that they would have done so. You've responded. You've given your response.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Chair, just before we proceed, can I just request so that, because it seems like a critical thing for the record, page 952, which is those photos, but we'll just flight it. File 2, it should be file 3, sorry.
3. 952, you said.
952. So these photos, are these the photos that you were referring to earlier about the bulletproof vest, the handcuffs, and
That is correct. These are the
that were
photos.
taken?
Yes.
Okay. And currently they seized them?
They seized them, yes.
Okay, thank you. Chair, but I don't think it takes matters further. Those are the pictures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe show 57, because on 58 there are 2 items missing there. Photo 57. What is that on the extreme right? It looks like a suit bag, but it's not. What
Okay,
is it?
that's the bag that storage for the bulletproof vest.
It's the storage for the
Yes.
bulletproof vest.
Yes.
Okay. So it could not have been insect infested if it was inside a bag.
No.
You created the impression earlier that it was just hanging in the garage.
Okay, Commissioner, the vest wasn't hanging on the garage. The vest was in the bag hanging on the garage, though the top of the vest, where the zip is, was folded.
Yeah.
So obviously the insects and the geckos and stuff, their droppings would have landed on that. With a lot of dust, with years of accumulated dust.
Got you.
Yes.
So let's then go back to your statement. I think at paragraph 58,
Yes.
or rather it would be 59.
Okay. The other teacher had to try and calm the children down as they were traumatized by what was happening. Before Melissa was placed in the van, she was taken to the granny flat at my premises, where she lives, in the granny flat, right? Her identity card and sorry, let me just say that again, it's not making sense. Okay, the other teacher had to try and calm the children down as they were traumatized by what was happening. Before Melissa was placed in the van, she was taken to the granny flat at my premises where she lives. For her identity card and the premises were searched. She was later released on the instructions of Captain Dina Govender. I was placed in a police vehicle and heard Captain Dina Govender, Warrant Officer Sivanide, and Warrant Officer Naika having a discussion that they would get Bevan's attorney to bring him in. They would book Bevan out for further investigation, shoot him, and Captain Dina would cover it up. The dog unit policeman said he had one more firearm to plant. Captain Govender also said that they were going to sort out the Newlands East boys. This is a reference to the people who live in Sawfish, Newlands East, Sawfish Road in Newlands East, and who were people who grew up in the Wentworth area before being shifted to Newlands East. While I was handcuffed, I also heard one of the policemen, Captain Bevan of the Durban Metro Police, phoning Hendrik Noonans, who was Bevan's manager, and telling him to come to my house. When Hendrik Noonans arrived, he was immediately, which is about 100 meters from our premises, on foot. He was arrested for possession of an unlicensed firearm, which was allegedly found in his premises. Before we left to go to the police station, Captain Dina Govan told Warrant Officer Naika to remove the Toyota Hilux. He sent other policemen to remove the hard drive of the CCTV footage in Bevan's house. I asked him why he was taking the vehicle which was used in the business, and he said it was used in the commission of a crime. I was taken to the Brighton Beach police station. When we were at the station, I was told by Captain Dina Governor that they were charging Bevan for attempted murder for shooting at the police at the Bluff Meat Supply. These allegations were blatant lies because Bevan was never at Bluff Meat Supply and in fact had not left the premises at our family home that day. The police removed the CCTV hard drive because it was evidence that Bevan did not leave the premises. It is for this reason that in my interdict application, I sought the return of the CCTV hard drive that would prove Bevan's innocence and cover the conspiracy to implicate him falsely. At the Brighton Beach Police Station,
Mr. Loftus, did you receive the hard drive back? Because
I
you
did
end
not
up
receive the
getting
hard
it
drive, Commissioner. I have a report in the response, in the police response to my application. There's a statement by the electronics department where the guy says, the policeman says that he received it, he opened it, and he downloaded footage, but there was no footage for the day of the 3rd of February. He says then at a later date, he was asked again to download it because the relevant policeman handling the case had lost the footage. He says he tried to go into the hard drive, but there was a password on it. He couldn't get in, and he says he found it